Welcome back, Anthony here. We're going to talk about the CompTIA A plus 22801 exam again, moving along to Motherboard Basics, Part 1. So let's talk about motherboards. Motherboards are basically the skeleton of the computer. They provide the foundation for all connections and interactions between all the pieces and parts of the computer. Think of it as all the little roadways and all whatnot between every single piece of the computer so everyone can communicate. I like to also think of it as the central nervous system because when something happens in the CPU from the graphics card, the CPU only knows about it because it's sent a signal from the graphics card, similar to if you were to hit your knee, that signal would travel up to your brain and then you would feel pain. So that's how I like to remember it as well. So if you look closer, you will see a little path made into the surface of the motherboard. You can kind of see those little like white lines going along the surface there. These little pathways are called traces or buses. So when you refer to a front side bus or whatnot, that is what they are referring to, those little buses on the board themselves. And that's how the CPU is going to communicate with all the different parts of the motherboard, all the different peripheral components, RAM, hard drives, all that fun stuff. They're all traveling over those little buses. If the motherboard gets cracked or scratched, rather, some of the pathways can be broken, and this will destroy the motherboard. That's the end of the motherboard. It's not like a human brain, whereas, if some pathways die, they can be taken over by other pathways. Not the case with the motherboard. They're plastic. They are inorganic. Once those pathways are destroyed, there's no saving that motherboard. It's time to get a new motherboard. So keep that in mind. Do not bend any motherboards or crack any motherboards. That includes, a lot of people don't take into consideration that, motherboards can also be graphics cards and things along those lines. Those are little motherboards. So don't bend them. Be gentle with them. If you crack those pathways, you could be out a very expensive component. Motherboards come in a variety of different shapes and size configurations to keep in mind, and that is called the form factor. There have been a number of different form factors since the first PC. The original form factor was called the AT, and that was in the original IBM PC, and of course by now that form factor is long since obsolete. Currently, you're going to see mostly ATX form factors or some derivative of ATX in the cases that you buy nowadays. The ATX form factor offers many improvements over the AT, including a smaller size and better placement of components. For instance, it's got a better CPU placement, which provides better airflow for cooling, which you can kind of notice is at the back of most computers, and then you can suck air in the front and suck air out the back, and it just creates a very nice airflow environment, cooling off everything as that kind of happens. CPU, RAM, and expansion slots are better positioned for easy access and do not interfere with each other, which was a big problem with the AT boards, where back then you used to have to kind of remove parts to get at other parts. Think of it as just a really poorly set up vehicle. I don't know about you, I had a Grand Prix 99 GTP, and just trying to do just trying to replace the battery, I had to remove so many other components just to get to the battery. So think of that as kind of an analogy there, is just AT versus ATX, where things are just kind of easily accessed in an ATX case, whereas in an AT case, it's just a really confusing undercarriage. It's just everything's jammed together. There's just not good placement of components. So that is the basics for motherboards part 1. We're going to get more in depth into motherboards in part 2. I hope you will join me.